Now, so when you were working with Cody, did they have any requests? Did they say, "Hey, this is what Cody's trying to work on"?
Just I was just switching a lot, trying to give him that switch hook that he got caught with last time, and was trying to just be a good teammate and give him head kicks and that kind of movement. And he was doing fairly well, blocking kicks, coming back, and trying to wrestle more. But because I think they were talking about that was one thing that he lacked in the first fight, not wrestling him enough.
Yeah.
Well, what happened Saturday was definitely not the game plan. You could see it wasn't anything like he sparred, and it wasn't anything like he trained. I think emotion absolutely took over.
Yeah.
So what was their game plan?
I think just piece him up, get him, catch him like the first round, but actually finish the fight. I think that would have been more the
right. But
obviously kick him a lot,
right,
and just get him to walk into something. Try to wrestle him a little bit in there too. I think TJ came out really smart as well, though.
Well, TJ throws himself into the fire too.
Yeah.
He does not play a safe game.
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't on Saturday, and I think that he was probably a little surprised by how unsafe Cody was so early. Like, I mean, that exchange at the end. I mean, it's Cody. I mean, TJ's just blocking and looking, and Cody is just going for broke on everything he's throwing.
Yeah, and when we were watching the replays, you could clearly see that Cody's path was wider and there was more strain, and then TJ was more loose and he got there quicker. And the first knockdown when he tagged him with the right hand, that was really where it came from. They were both throwing at the same time, but TJ was also doing a better job of getting his head offline. And the thing is, like, TJ's relationship with Dwayne Ludwig is very unusual. It's like those guys are like glue. I mean, they're fucking stuck together.
Yeah.
And Dwayne is a maniac. You know Dwayne.
Oh, I know Dwayne. I've known Dwayne a long time. We are friends. And when we coached against each other at the Ultimate Fighter, he literally in the parking lot reminded me that he had the fastest knockout in UFC history because he was fucking pissed. Like he's just one of those guys that...
Who's pissed about what?
Just because we were trying to... He had a training practice that he invited all of Henry's guys to, but Henry couldn't come. And I was like, well, I'm going to have Johnson on come in, and Joe can't come. And he's like, hey, listen, I'm going to whip my dick out right now. I'm going to remind you I've got the fastest knockout in UFC history, so you better calm down, boy. And I'm like, well, okay. But so he's very emotional. He's very focused, and he's very dedicated to TJ. So I'm agreeing with you on that, but he will go zero like that.
Oh, yeah, Dwayne's crazy as fuck. I know Dwayne very, very, very well. But what I'm saying is that Dwayne is obsessed with TJ's performance and with TJ's improvement. When TJ first beat Renan Barão, Dwayne sat down with me. We sat down and we had lunch together that day. And he was and it was a fucking big underdog. I mean, Renan Barão was thought to be the best pound-for-pound fighter, if not number one, certainly number two.
That was insane. That was insane. When he did that, I was like, Jesus Christ.
But it's also the way he did it. He came out so loose, like he was sparring. He came out like, like they touched gloves, like he was going to do a sparring session. And it looked like a guy he sparred with a fucking 100 rounds. It wasn't, there was no tension to him. It was very loose. He really loves that shit. He loves it. He's a rise to the occasion kind of guy, TJ is. And that's one of the reasons why I think he really thrived off this rivalry with Cody. Whereas with Cody, especially because TJ won the first fight and won it by knockout, Cody had all this inner tension, whereas TJ had this inner smile through the entire process.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with you. And I think Cody was definitely, it seemed like he was a little more emotional of the two. And